Okay, 60 cents of unpaid balance or value, whatever's less, right?
Yeah.
So right away I'm getting a property for cheaper. That's if I buy a note. But I also buy, besides notes, I also buy, you can, if you don't mind, just turning that down again. See, besides notes, sorry, I'm going to take you off. I'll talk about the area we would be in. Besides notes, we also buy, hold on, oh, here we go. Non-performing notes. We buy REOs, which means the banks actually foreclose on these properties and they take it back themselves. So those REOs, we buy a lot of REOs. We probably buy more REOs than notes right now because we have access to those. We buy tax liens and deeds depending on the state you're in. Every state is different. Okay? We go direct wholesalers. We go direct to sellers. I have an acquisition team that works for me. My own team, they work for me. I don't do anything. I pay for everything, but I don't do anything. The reason I have an acquisition team is because I look at the properties I want to keep in my portfolio. Whatever I don't want in my portfolio, I sell off. Okay? That's why I have an acquisition team. So the money just feeds the machine. Okay? So I get properties. So people get nervous. They're like, well, I don't know asset managers. I don't know how to get notes. You can do this. Asset managers, right? Or guys in this room might sell notes. I know some notes. I'm an asset manager, essentially. I own a lot of notes. I'm not selling them, but I own them. Tax liens, distressed sellers, etc. Any way you can get a property at a discount. But you have to do it in an emerging market. What are emerging markets? Let me go back here a little bit. I think I have. Oh. Some of the markets, I don't even have them all in. Can't get that Alabama one red. But Pennsylvania doesn't count. Delaware doesn't count. Ohio, so I'm big in Dayton, Ohio. I'm big in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm in Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm in Montgomery, Birmingham, and Huntsville, Alabama. I know we got some other people in Huntsville right outside. Those are the markets I really focus in. Now, can I go to other markets that are great? Yeah, I mean, St. Louis, I think Bobby's in St. Louis. You're in St. Louis, right? That's an awesome market. Oklahoma City's an awesome market. Michigan's an awesome market. Arizona. There's so many good markets that are emerging market. What makes a market emerging? Does anybody know?
Job growth.
Good, yeah, job growth. Not just like one job. Do you remember here when the dot-com bubble burst?
Yeah.
Silicon Valley was like a ghost town. Okay, you don't want to be like that kind of thing. In Michigan, the automakers, when they all shut down, that was a ghost town. So we're in places like Cleveland. Like you guys probably heard of the Cleveland Clinic.
Yeah.
It's the biggest healthcare institution in the United States.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you have places like Lockheed Martin, you have banks, you have, and in some of these places, FedEx, UPS, Hyundai, Mercedes, Amazon's opening up all over the place in certain markets. You have a ton of engineering firms, a ton of technology companies, a ton of banks in the Carolinas opening up. So those are emerging markets. That's one thing we look for. Second thing we look for, infrastructure. We want to make sure there's highways, major roadways to get to these places. And how do we do these? And we go through a lot more of this on the two-day event. I actually show you how to look for that. But just so you understand how you look for this. You look at the Economic Development Corp. You look up the Chamber of Commerce. You look at periodicals. Money Magazine, Fortune, Inc. You're on an airplane. I was going to an event where I was speaking at. On the airplane, I have it in my, I think I have it at home now in my bag. But in the airplane at American Airlines, they open up in the middle section, they had this little 10-page booklet. And what do you think they talked about? What market? Alabama. Everywhere in Alabama. Like, mobile is a great market. I'm not there. And why? People say, why don't you go there? Because, guys, you want to make this as easy as possible, right? You don't want to create jobs for yourself. You can do this in one market. You can make it real easy for yourself. I'm in 3 to 5 markets. That's it. And I really focus right now on like 1 or 2 because that's where I get a lot of my assets. And I'm cool. I don't need to jump all over the place. Okay? Because rather than going to my story and why we're successful, I mean, like I told Martin said, I've done over 800 fix and flips. And that was essentially in 800 fix and flips really ramped up over an 8-9 year period. And our fix and flips were netting us $50,000 and up a month. I mean, I'm sorry, $50,000 and up a flip. And we were doing about 50 flips a year. So to figure out the numbers, we were doing a lot of money. And I always tell people, I laugh, and I love saying it because I was the most unsuccessful millionaire you'll ever meet in your life. And that's why I said I almost lost my wife, almost lost my kids, because I was never around.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out, and you read it in the book, right? You read the book. So I had to figure out what else to do in this business. And the only thing I could do to get to where I need to be without it being transactional, wholesaling, fix and flipping, transactional, you make good money, but the market here is changing. So when the market changes, your business goes with the market, right? Our business doesn't go with the market. When the market changes, it's actually good for us. Because if banks stop lending, people still need to rent somewhere, right? Let's also talk about why that's a good market. I'll talk about the 1-to-1 ratio. When I say 1-to-1 ratio, I need to say a property, let's say, is worth $100,000. Which I know you guys are probably cringing right here. I do this in all the markets, and it's $100,000. You know, it's funny. I get embarrassed even saying that. It's a great area in these markets, and rents are like $800 to $1,000 a month. Right, Bobby?
Yeah,
All right, 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
So it's not exact, guys. So if it's $100,000 and it's $900, $1,100 in that range, that's a good market. Now, that $100,000 for me, some people do great in lower end markets. For me, I want it to be the class B plus to C plus area. So that's pretty much white collar to blue collar, suburban, not your high end areas, not your low end areas. Okay? I want to make my life as passive as income, as passive as possible. Does that make sense? I'm a lazy investor, guys. I really am. I'm a lazy investor. I don't want to have a lot of problems. Okay? I'll make a little less money on paper. I don't want to have a lot of problems. So those are some of the areas we invest in, but we teach you how to find emerging markets. Okay? What markets are the best? What makes them emerging? Okay, don't just take what I'm telling you. What I want to teach you, what Martin wants to teach you, and the reason why we're going to do a 2-day event is because we want to teach you how to learn this for yourself. Because if you want to build this as a business, and I'm not saying go out there and do it, you have to do a lot of work, you do it on a computer. Okay? You can do it on a computer and make a couple phone calls. That's really what the business is. I can't see all my properties. I have people on the ground that see them. Great thing with technology, even though I can't set up this thing, but technology works. They know how to share stuff with me. So we get these assets in our portfolio. We get these assets performing, so important. So whether it's a note to get it reperforming, we get that note reperforming, okay? You understand how to do that? We work it out with the borrower, we get them to start paying again. We're gonna show that a lot at the event, 2-day training. What are some of the things you can do to get that note reperforming? Lower the payment. Some of the note investors are here. You guys have gotten notes reperforming, right?
Yep.
Does it happen?
It does.
Okay, so it happens. This is not like a pie in the sky, maybe it happens. It happens. And for them, it happens probably more than not because they probably buy occupied properties, right?
Both.
Okay, so you're not scared to buy both.
We buy both.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you do well, but your exit strategy is on both, right?
Yep.
Better on the vacants.
See that, guys? See that? I don't want to be the one to tell you that these are guys that are actually doing it themselves. Okay, and they're not plants in here either. You know? So, no, you talk to them on your own. Guys, I want you to. This has nothing to do. Just so you understand, this has nothing to do with me. I want to teach you this. Martin and I want to teach this the right way because there's so many people teaching it the wrong way. And secondly, there's so many people that are selling this pie in the sky. They're not teaching how to do this business. Like Bobby said, you guys are engineers and teachers, and you have mergers and acquisitions. You build a school. You guys have done some amazing things, right? Some amazing things. You don't do it in an hour and a half class. That's so important. If you want to learn this business, it's not rocket science, but there's a process. It's people, systems, and processes over and over and over again. I'm going to show you what I did with one house, and I did it again, and I did it again, and again, and again, 637 times. Okay? That's not a sales pitch. That's what I did. Okay? And I didn't start rich. I start with nothing, had no money, came out of the military with a wife and a kid. So I'm saying that not to impress you, I'm saying to impress upon you that you can do this. You're way ahead of everyone here is way ahead of where I was at. 28 years ago, we didn't have Bobby running a meeting. He stopped giving lobster and steak. I think you guys should all, after this meeting, you guys should all put a complaint in, please, about the food.
The food quality.
You didn't ask me one thing about me.
What's that?
You didn't ask me one thing about me.
What?
What do I love? What does everyone here know I love?
Lobster? Pizza.
I'm a pizza aficionado.
Oh, yeah. You went to Chicago, didn't you?
I've been all over the United States. I do pizza tours. Funny story, and I'll get back to this. They have a pizza expo, and Martin knows this. They have this pizza expo in Las Vegas in March. It's packed. It's the whole conference center. I've never been. But I have a page on Facebook called Chasing Pizza. There's nothing, just my own little thing, right? So people, my friends go in there, they post pizza up there, and people rank it. It's just a fun, bantering thing. Well, I get a letter 3 years ago from the Pizza Expo. I got invited as a publisher to the Pizza Expo in Vegas. And I haven't gone yet. I'm dying to go just to walk around and taste pizza. But I want to walk around with the publisher credentials because I have a Facebook page, Chasing Pizza. So that's a fun thing about me. That's my thing.
And Domino's, they don't stand.
And he serves me Domino's. At least it's got to be here in 30 minutes or better, right? Right?
Not anymore.
You serve Domino's. All right, guys. So our investment approach, I think we're talking about that. I don't want to waste, because I want to go into an example. Basically, we figure out the neighborhood, and that's kind of what we show you the neighborhoods to look for. Okay? Identify the property that we want to buy. We show you how to acquire that property, whether it's an asset manager, which you're going to learn from both of us. Martin and I had to deal with asset managers direct. Okay? And there's people that own properties and notes in this room, so they're essentially asset managers. They're managing the assets. So if you say, hey, I have money, I want to acquire an asset, maybe Steve's looking to sell a partial, maybe they're looking to sell a whole one to get money out. And I know Steve always has notes. I see him put notes up for sale. There's an asset manager. You guys just got an asset manager by coming to this meeting, plus you got Domino's. All in one. Okay? Then we, if we have to do Section 8, which I don't really do Section 8 other than some parts of Cleveland, because I like Section 8 in Cleveland, that's about it. But Bobby's great with Section 8 they have it down pat in, where are you?
Midwest, Kansas City.
Kansas City, he has it down pat there. Like they're like a machine over there, they have it. So he knows it there. So that's his thing, right? So he would be lists, like necessary clearances. He would clear all the inspections and violations and all that stuff that Section 8 requires. So the property's easy to be rent. Makes sense? All right? Then I'll get the property rehabbed. I don't rehab anything. I tell people you'll not sit by a picture if I hang it on the wall, because I cannot, even though I've done over 2,000 transactions, I've never put a hammer on a nail. I'm horrible with that. It's not my strong point, right? That's not my competency, is work. I shouldn't say work, not physical work. And then we're ready for sales or rent. Now, if I sell it, it's okay. If I rent it, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Because if you buy the right asset, a note, an REO, a tax lien, a property, if you get a wholesale deal, it's the right asset, it's not going to work here financially in this area. But let's say you did this in another market, and you bought that asset, does it matter if it's a good one if you sell it or not? No, you're absolutely right. All right, so get them any way you can get them. So wholesale, and I'll even show you how to find deals direct from sellers. I'm going to show you, I was the driving for dollars guys years ago, and my process still works. And I'm going to show you how I did it real easy. Cheap and easy. Cheap is free. Okay? So, you can allow me to show that? Can I show that to you? Would that be cool? If we come to the thing, I'll show it to you, because I'll actually print out some flyers and I'll bring them. That's how easy it'll be. So, I'll show you guys everything. I don't hold anything back when I show this. So, I think we talked about why investing in notes. I want to not waste time. Here's one of our properties. Can you put the lights again, Martin? Okay, we're talking about, you guys have calculators on your phone. You might want to get them out, because I might need help. I may need help with this one. I'm just going to move. If you can't see, guys, it's a small room, so just raise your hand, stop me if you don't have a question, all right? Don't let me go past this, because this is like the real important stuff. All right, get my good side?
Green.
That's why I turned around. Get my good side?
Yes.
That's why I married a beautiful woman. Oh, she keeps me alive. Jeez. All right, so let's look at this property. Just so you know, this property is, real quick, valued at 80. It's probably worth over 100 now. It's probably worth about 105, 106. It's in Cleveland. If this one is Euclid, I think this one is Euclid. That's right. Purchased for $19,600. We put $15,000 in rehab on this property. So we want to sell the finance. This is what I just told you here. That's why I picked this up. It's an $80,000 property. We sold this property, seller financing, right? With 30% down to $20,000. That's my goal. You guys could say, I'll sell finance it with $5,000 down. I'll sell finance with 10. Whatever you need, it doesn't matter. There's no rule to this. It's whatever you want. Does that make sense? Customizable business. The government's not telling us what we have to do. Your boss is not telling you what you have to do at your job. Nobody's telling you what to do. If you don't want to take any money down, you're crazy, but you don't have to. Okay? I always want to get in the game because it makes it a powerful note. So $80,000 down, $80,000 purchase price. We put $24,000 down. So I'm going to go like this because this is what we're collecting. Now how much is our mortgage?
56.
Cool. I don't have my mortgage calculator, but like 8.99%. Here's the other cool thing I do. I'll do rates 8.99 to 10.99%. Just, and some people are like, well, that's high, but you're not going to a Wells Fargo. I don't care about your credit. I don't care about your income. I'm giving you a house with literally $24,000 down. Now, can you go and refi me out? Sure. You can go get your own conventional rate. But I'm allowing you with $100,000. Maybe you can't show your income. Maybe you have some problems on your credit. Whatever it might be, I'm allowing you to get 4 properties. Now you can go to a commercial lender and they'll go blanket loan and take me out. And we're done. So $56,000. Does anyone have a mortgage calculator on them?
450 the payment.
Was it?
450.
I was like right on point. Didn't we just talk about, what was that time payable? Payments are always like around $450 for us. I was just talking to someone, I said, let's do $200 a month. All right, $450. Guys, I said I did over 2,000 transactions, right? And once again, I'm not saying this to impress anyone, I'm just going to press upon you why this is so important, why you're going to love this. All right, I did over 2,000 transactions. Where my stupidity was I sold a lot of those transactions. I was transactional. Why? I was making all that money to live the lifestyle, right? Cars, you read the book. You saw some of my pictures of cars in there. Cars, my boat, watches. And why I tell you that, once again, it's not to impress you, it's to impress upon you how dumb I was. And that's why I said I was the worst millionaire. I was the most unsuccessful millionaire in the world because I bought things that didn't matter. And I'm getting away from this a little, I'm getting a life a little bit. What mattered to me, and if you ask everybody, if everyone asked me why I was doing what I was doing and flipping all these properties, it was because I wanted to live a lifestyle where I grew up with no money. I grew up, parents weren't good. I was basically kicked out of a house when I was a good kid. I wanted to go into the military because I had nothing else I could do to pay my bills. I came out and got my college degree. My parents told me I wouldn't do it. If my father said, you go to college, you do military, you'll never finish college. I did it in 2 years working full-time for the Navy. Got out, wife and a daughter, had no job out of the military. Couldn't get anything with a college degree. Worked 2 and 3 jobs while doing real estate. I started making a lot of money and I started buying all these toys because I thought that's what meant success, right? I was trying to impress everybody. Like, look at Dan, he's going, oh, that's a nice car. And I was successful because I was the guy driving the Maserati. I was the guy driving the Mercedes. I mean, you've seen some of the pictures. I was doing stupid things. I rented a Lamborghini for 4 months. I had a Bentley for 6 weeks just to impress people. I thought that was success. Giving my wife everything she wanted. Everything I thought she wanted. Jewelry, boats, everything.